to you. Welcome to the Red Road East. I am your host, Fierce Truth Seeker. And today we are continuing our conversation. East Coast Indigenous culture. Is it borrowed Plains Indian culture? Or is today's Aboriginal movement a modification of African traditions masquerading as American Indian culture? Okay, right now I am just waiting on my guest and co host, Firebird Grey Wolf, to come in. Okay, so I know she's trying to log in on her computer. Oh, here she goes. Hey, hey.
Hey, hold on.
Okay. And for those who are generous enough to leave a donation, I left the Cash App and PayPal information where you can leave a donation in the chat. And while you're getting yourself together there, Firebird, I will go to my email and pull up some of these videos here that I'm going to share.
Hey,
Hey,
hi everyone. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I turned my speaker up. How are you?
Good, good.
Hi, Awanasi. Hi. I'm sorry I'm tardy, but guess what? All this time I was charging my computer and it wasn't charged.
Wow.
I don't know what happened, but that's the delay that caused me not coming on right away.
Oh, wow.
So we're up and running.
Okay, great, great. Yeah. So I'm just searching for this video here. Okay, let's see. Two, one. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what we have here. All right. Yeah, I think we're good. So, oh man, a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, the last time we were addressing people who were disrespectful to the people in the American Indian community. And it seems that we have people who are haters, who are hating on those of us who are connected to the culture. And, you know, as they used to say back in the days, don't hate, participate. you know, you calling yourself Indian, Aboriginal, and this, that, and the other. Don't hate, participate. But they don't want to do that. You know, you have a lot of people who are just indigenous to the internet, and they're content with that. And that's fine. But don't criticize those of us who are actually connected. Okay, don't do that. It's not right. You know, do your own due diligence, and that's how that should be. So I want to start out by addressing some very interesting feedback that we've been getting. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this up. Let's see here. What we have here.
How's your mic? Your microphone?
I'm assuming it's good. I'm getting feedback on your end though.
Um, I have a fan on. I don't know. Let me turn it off.
No, I'm getting an echo, like maybe you have another device on.
No, no, I have. Well, let me check my other phone. I have a couple of phones.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you. I heard you the whole time. Just
But
getting
I mean, are you getting feedback?
no.
Okay, I had a high powered fan on. I don't. I That's the only thing. Not my phones. I make sure I turn them off.
Not that kind of feedback. I was getting an echo of my voice.
Oh well, I don't know where it's coming from. I I know this platform is not perfect a lot of times. So,
Yeah.
uh, anyways, I'll let you proceed.
Okay. So I want to begin. I'm getting the feedback. I'm just gonna mute your mic for a second. Um, so I'm going to begin by stating that I'm going to share some videos, and I do not own the rights to these videos. It's for fair use and for informational purposes only. As a matter of fact, I need to put that, I should have put that in the title. Let me see if I can do that now. Give me 1 second.
Weather there.
The weather is beautiful. Let's see. How do I do this? Um, Settings. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to do an edit. Not an edit, but an. Let's see. Trying to see how to do this. Well, I guess I can do it after. I have to do it right after. Anyway, yeah. This is. I'm gonna share some videos, and this is for. This is under Fair Use Act, and for informational purposes only. Any music or any videos that will be shared is for informational purposes only. I do not own the rights to these videos or any of the music playing. With that being said, before I get into the videos, I'm going to share some comments. Let's see here. Okay. Second. This one. It's not that one. It's this one. All right. Now let's start off with. Okay, second. That one. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we had some criticism from one of our subscribers here, Stephen Starr. Okay,
Steven Starr sounds familiar.
yeah. He's usually in the chat, um, but he hasn't been in a while, so he's missed a lot of information, and he doesn't want to go back and study the material that he's missed, and therefore, he makes certain statements that makes absolutely no sense. And it's because it's just like how when you're in school and you have the students who refuse to do their homework, and when everybody else has moved on, they are. Hold on, let me mute your mic. I'm getting the feedback again. Give me a second. Yeah, so Stephen Starr, you have those students in school, who refuse to do their homework, but yet everyone has moved on, and you have that one student who didn't do the homework and is holding everybody back because everything that he's saying makes absolutely no sense. It only makes sense to him. And that's the situation we're having with Stephen. And I told Stephen several times, brother, you have to go back and study the material that you missed, you know. And he had certain criticisms about the Garvey discussion and also some of the videos that I did with you, Firebird, on Native Voices Turtle Island. And I'll start off by reading a comment here. Um, Let me make this a little bigger so that I can see it. Okay. He says, and this was on, he made this when I did the interview with Dr. Christian on Monday. Okay. And he says, and this interview was regarding Marcus Garvey. Okay. And he says, the agents are everywhere. And it's a sad thing to find out that those who one may have appeared as solid figure in the community is really like Peter Vincent, the great vampire slayer, who was a phony in the movie Fright Night. Garvey was so in love with Africa and never been there, not once. And for a man to have loved a place so much, why wouldn't he want his body to lie in the land of his so called beloved land? He was an Englishman, wasn't he? Okay, so let's first deal with the last part of that statement. So, number one, I told you, brother, you have to read. If you do not read books, you are always going to sound like a fool. Okay? Anyone with half a brain cell knows that Garvey was not an Englishman. I mean, where do they get these people from? An Englishman. Garvey was Jamaican. An Englishman? Are you serious? And again, I keep telling these people, okay, what books have you read on Marcus Garvey? You can't just sit around and make criticisms and stuff like that about things that you have not studied. Okay? Um, and some of his other comments, as a matter of fact, let me get this on the screen. Actually, no, I'll just read it from here and I'll put the other ones on the screen because there's several that he made. He says, now, in regards to Garvey and him going to Africa, we already discussed that in great detail. Okay. And, I'm not really going to go backwards on that. Okay, because we already covered that. Okay, and if you want the answers to that, number one, that statement doesn't make, if you studied anything about Marcus Garvey, that statement sounds 1,000% foolish. Because if you studied anything about Garvey, then you would know why he did not go to Africa. Okay, number one, Garvey and number one, Garvey was not the first one to start a Back to Africa movement. Okay, number one, as I said 1,000 times in all of the 11 videos that I've done on the question of Marcus Garvey, whether or not he was an agent. Okay, Garvey was not the first one to start a Back to Africa movement. Okay, there were several who came before Garvey, homegrown from here, okay, including those who were American Indian, okay, who had Back to Africa movements, okay. The question is, why did those people create those Back to Africa movements back then? Okay, it was people here in North America who were doing Back to Africa movements long before Garvey, okay. And my question to you, my brother, is where was the Aboriginal movement during the time of Garvey? You're taking modern ideologies and trying to make them retroactive. And you cannot do that. You cannot do that. There was no Aboriginal movement during the time of Marcus Garvey. For the thousandth goddamn time, how many times am I going to say that? For the thousandth billionth time, how many times do I have to say that? I said it 10 billion times. Are you hard of hearing? Are you hard of hearing? Something, I mean, the problem is, Firebird, our people, there's a high level of illiteracy. I worked in the miseducational system for 16 years. Okay. And I can tell you there is a high level of illiteracy among our people. Okay. Our people can't read. That is a problem. That is a big problem. Our people don't know how to read and they don't want to learn how to read. Even those who can read words, you can read words, but the thing is, do you understand reading comprehension? What is your reading comprehension level? Okay, and this is why our people will always be on the bottom because the powers that be know that our people don't know how to read. I mean, Taj Tariq Bey has said it like a billion times, and I co-sign on what he said 10 billion% because it is true. Okay, and I see that Stephen is in the comment section now. Stephen says, American Colonization Society, Garvey was working for the white man. Ha, I love it. I knew you'd be in your James Brown voice. Stephen got jokes. All right, Stephen, this is why I keep saying you have to go back and look at the previous videos. I already debunked all of that. All of that is foolishness, Stephen. I debunked that. Go back and look at the videos. but you're holding everybody else back because you don't want to look at the videos that I did where I debunked that. I proved all of that to be fugazi. I keep telling you, Stephen, and I love you, Stephen. No homo. All right. You have to stop. See, this is how our people learn. Our people like learning. They don't like to read. They like to learn through memes, sound bites, and looking at other people's YouTube videos and Wikipedia. Okay. But that does not hold up in an academic setting. Okay. The whole world is looking at the Aboriginal community right now. Okay. And guess what? They are laughing. If I don't tell you, I would be wrong if I did not tell you. Okay. I'm serious. I would be wrong if I did not tell you. It's like you have that child that they're wrong, and everybody's looking at that child because they're misbehaving and doing stupid stuff. If you don't correct them, you would be wrong because you're doing them a disservice. I would be wrong for me not to tell you that the world is laughing at you because everything that you say is foolishness. See, a lot of you guys got into this whole Aboriginal thing by watching, I hate to call names, you watching Dane Calloway videos and, other people's videos and stuff like that. And it's misinformation big time. Okay. It's misinformation big time. I mean, no disrespect to Dane Calloway. I hate to call the brother's name. He has some good information. But again, I have to tell the truth. Okay. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Okay. And the world is watching. And a lot of y'all don't even have, how can you call yourself an American Aborigine? And number one, you don't even know anything about, you call yourself Indigenous and American Aborigine, and you know nothing about Indigenous culture. You don't even know one tribe from the other. Outside of the 5 civilized tribes, you guys are clueless. You know absolutely nothing about the other tribes outside of the 5 civilized tribes. How can you call yourself American Aborigine Indigenous and you don't even know mainstream black, so-called black history, so-called African American history? You that's 101. You don't even know anything about the civil rights movement. Okay? You can say, Stephen, you can say that those are fictions that don't count. Okay? But the thing is, you don't even know the fictional history. You don't even have a proper understanding of the fictional history. You can't even put the fictional history into, okay, you can say it's fictional history, but what parts of it is fiction and what parts of it is fact? You can't even break that down. Okay? I can. But I guarantee you, you cannot do that. Okay? And this is why I had, brother, civil rights. You're saying, see, this is the problem. We mix apples and oranges. Civil rights means death. Brother, I was talking that probably before you were born. I don't know how old you are, brother, but I am not new to this. I'm not new to the Aboriginal thing. You can't name me one right now, Stephen. Right now, I guarantee you, you cannot name one Aboriginal channel that was doing this right here, talking about this history and our Aboriginal history in Turtle Island before myself and my co-host Firebird. You can't name one. Name me one. Name one. I guarantee you. If you can name one that is existing today, I will go right downtown to Times Square, strip naked, and wait till the cops come and get me. I will cancel the Red Road East channel right now. Guarantee you. And I will wait right now for you to put that information in the chat, and I will wait and listen to the crickets. Name one. Okay, so you acknowledge that. So I'm saying you're not telling me anything new. I know about civics, my brother. Okay, as you know, I'm a Moor. Okay, so you're not telling me anything new. I know about colorable terms. Okay, I know all about all of that stuff. I've been teaching that for decades, brother. Decades. You know how much a decade is? A decade is 10 years. I've been doing it for about three of those. About three. You're not telling me anything that I don't already know. But what I'm saying is that you have to know the history of our people here. You can call it fiction, but however, everything is not fiction because the civil rights movement did happen. It doesn't matter whether or not the semantics is correct or incorrect. The civil rights movement did happen. And you have to know the history of those movements. You have to know the history of the movements that came before the civil rights movement. Okay? You have to know all of these things that are all of the elements and all of the different movements that have come up among our people here. And if you don't have a good grasp of that, then you're not going to sound very intelligent because you're going to be saying things that don't make sense. It does because civil rights were Indian rights. Hold on, let me put that in the screen. Look at Firebird. Okay, explain that. The Firebird, you want to weigh in on that? Let me unmute your mic.
Indian rights. We have our own separate rights in a sense, but all minority people have civil rights. So why is it just now Indian rights? And what?
Documentation on that, Stephen.
Huh?
Now I'm asking him to show some documentation on that. He says civil rights is Indian rights. Show us some documentation. Explain to us what you mean by that.
And why is he singling out Indians under the title of civil rights? Mm-mm.
Can you see that? I'm putting up another comment.
On the civil rights bill, does it say Indian rights? But didn't he just say civil rights are Indian rights? So why is he saying now on the civil rights bill, does it say Indian rights? He just said civil rights are Indian rights. So what is it? Do you understand? He's saying two things to me. That's how I'm interpreting it. You know,
That's his other comment. Can you read that?
and now he's asking you minority, what is that? Okay, that's a classification the government gives us. I didn't make up the term. So you have to ask yourself, who gave us that term of being minorities, meaning anyone that's not Caucasian? Okay, they made that terminology up. We're all the majority of people.
So now he says Indians are Aboriginal through miseducation and Indian removal acts. All was re- all was removed. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, we're here. We're Indigenous Aboriginal, which is really the same word. First people. It wasn't separated before. I mean, we've been using two terminologies for the first people for many, many years. So
Right.
now he's saying all was removed. You
Right.
know, so is he Aboriginal
Yeah,
or what?
that's what he
You know,
that's his that's what he claims. But
and where were the Indians all moved to? You know,
right, the Indians all moved to Stephen.
Mm-mm.
We'll wait. Where were the Indians all moved to, Stephen?
Can he answer? Where are they?
I don't think he has an answer for that.
You
Again,
know, and when I go on the reservation, me alone, I'm not speaking about Fierce. What are those people up there? What does the government call them?
okay, he says those who those who didn't assimilate were moved all around, but Oklahoma, of course.
So all Indians were moved to Oklahoma.
brother,
So
brother,
Oklahoma
totally
is
wrong,
over.
totally wrong.
Oklahoma, in his mind, and I'm trying to be respectful. Uh, all Indians are just in Oklahoma.
Brother, you're totally wrong. You're 1,000% wrong. See,
They're
again,
all in Oklahoma.
again,
That's the
you have to
only
distinguish.
reservation.
Hold on a second, Firebird. You have to distinguish between what is
Mm-mm.
internet Indian ideology and what is real in the courts. Okay, according to what the powers that be say. Okay, not something that is aboriginal to the internet. There's a difference. Okay, what the aboriginal to the internet information is stating is not what holds up in court. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. Go ahead, Firebird.
Okay, no, it doesn't hold up in court for Indian rights at all. You know, they don't want to hear all of that. They want to classify us a certain way, and that's what they're going to do. You know, you
I can
can't
get Mother
go into
Quala on here.
you
I can get
can't go into
Mother Quala on here.
court and say, "Oh, we're the Aboriginal movement, and you better recognize us." It's not happening.
I can get Mother Quala on here, and she's an expert in Indian law, and she can get up here and she will be like, "Nope, nope, I'm sorry, you're wrong. It says according to blah 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 blah. Nope, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Blah blah blah." She'll shut all of that ish that you're saying down with
Well, I can tell him that's wrong based on that I'm a tribal leader.
exactly.
You know, so we have to deal with courts and states and federal. You know, we have to know about the treaties and land allotments and whatever goes with that. You know, so I really don't understand what is this about. Everyone was pushed out to Oklahoma,
That's
and all the Indians have been
from.
removed.
Where do you get that
So
from?
I want to know. I want to know if I'm chicken soup.
Indians on them. Where do you get that
Am
from?
I chicken? Am I chicken soup? Are you chicken soup? Is my tribe in Oklahoma, or are we on the northeast?
Mark Daniels is weighing in on that too. You want to read his comment for Stephen? You want to read that comment out loud for Stephen? Because he may not believe me.
Who, you want me to read it?
Yeah.
There is no Aboriginal title on any U.S. ethnicity documents. These guys know that. The only classification title on U.S. documentation regarding any indigenous anything is American Indian. Hello, I'm American Indian. Hello, OCO.
Yo.
Hey.
Okay. Sorry, Stephen, but that's the reality of it. Where is the Aboriginal treaties? Show me one Aboriginal.
Thank you, Mark Daniels.
Thank you, Mark. Show me the Aboriginal where an Aboriginal treaty is.
And I had wanted to address something with Stephen. Where was there anywhere where we put down Aboriginal people? Okay, it was the other way around when we defended someone that didn't fit the phenotype that this particular Aboriginal wanted, the narrative they wanted, that we opened up and spoke about that, you know. And my second question is to Stephen, where is there any proof that we ever said that we're in awe of John Ross and his pretendians, which is also not true?
Hold on that. I didn't get to that comment yet.
Okay,
I'm gonna put that up, and we're gonna
okay,
be in on that. But I want you to read Mark Daniels' other statement there.
okay. These guys desperately try to separate what isn't separated. Aboriginals and American Indians are one and the same. Aho. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Because I'm glad Mark is here because he's not going to believe me saying it. So I'm glad somebody else actually knows. You know, I'm not just making this stuff up. I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. Okay. You know, don't get mad. Stephen, steel is sharpening steel right now. Okay. Um, so let's see. Stephen says, you want to read that, Firebird?
I can't see what he's. I see Mark's last comment.
Well, I put it up on the
It shows Mark.
right now. I put on the screen.
Well,
Stephen.
let me shrink my screen. Okay. My point as well, but you just said Aboriginal ain't on any documents. Ha. That sounds ha. What is that about? Any. And what point is he trying to make? If it's not on there, what's so funny about that? Even Mark knows the terminology and the law.
So Stephen says reservations, but again, my people are from Southeast and even some Virginia. Of course not. You asked about Indian removal, correct? That's what Stephen Starr is saying. Um, yeah, well, my people are from the Southeast too. And
What, excuse me, he's saying you asked about Indian removal, correct? Wasn't it him that asked about saying they were
I didn't ask
all
about
removed to Oklahoma?
I didn't ask about Indian removal.
Wasn't it he asked, he said that all Indians were
Yeah,
removed,
he said that. You said that, Stephen. We didn't say that.
you know? We didn't say that. So where are these rumors coming from?
Right.
You know? And he said Marcus Garvey was an agent. I mean, he's kind of sounding like agent right now to me.
I said that in the comment section.
Oh, you did?
I hope not, you know.
Because they come on to start trouble and divide and to cause confusion with audiences for programming like this, like you have, you know.
So Stephen, I mean not Stephen, Mark weighs in again. And so he's telling Stephen, you need to humble yourself and be willing to be taught, bro. You're wrong. Exactly. Exactly. And that's one of the things I always stress when I'm doing these presentations. Just be humble. You know, I didn't learn all what I learned, and not to toot my own horn, but I didn't learn everything I learned being arrogant. I spent just as much time just listening as I'm talking nowadays. Okay. Did a lot of years listening and studying under the masters. Okay, and those masters include American Indian masters as well as those who teach the so-called Black history as well. Okay, okay. So I know it from both angles. That's why I had my professor on Monday from college, my college professor, where I took so-called African American studies, because you can't speak on these things if you have not had the specific training in those areas. Otherwise, you're relegated to what they call street corner scholarship, and that's all it would ever be, is street corner scholarship. Okay. Now, let's see. We have some more. Uh, I'm gonna refrain from doing any more comments because it's almost 7 o'clock. I can't believe it. This time couldn't be real because I have to do my session with Donna at 7.
Oh,
Um,
wait a minute. Today is Monday or
Not
Tuesday?
you. That's my attuning.
Huh?
That's my attuning
Oh. At what time?
at 7.
What
So
time is it now?
it's 6:23. So at 6:45.
Oh, okay. Can I, when you put what you're going to put up, I wanted to answer Stephen on what he said about John Ross, because
Yeah, I'm gonna put that up now.
it's very important that I say
I'm gonna
what
put
I
it up now.
say for a teaching purpose.
I'm gonna put it up now.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, because I was gonna show some videos, but we're not gonna have the time.
You might have time for one, but it's very important that I say what I have to say for your audience.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. Um. Yeah, here it is. Here. Let me open this up. I'm gonna share the screen. Oh, actually, let's see. Let's see. Download. Okay. Let's see. Anyway, I'm just gonna share the screen.
Is Steven still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Let me share the screen here. Okay, so I'm gonna read his comment here, and so this was the comment that you are referring to. Let me see if I see it a little bigger on this screen here. Actually, no. Okay, let me see. Okay, I can make it bigger. Okay, so he says, I have watched you for years. It is very interesting to say the least. At least you have gone to Africa more times than Garvey. I have never been and don't care to go. And he and I have been the same amount of times. Meanwhile, England has always been next door and still. No, I just find it strange when I hear yourself and the clan mother say names like Black and African American, but you have never heard me refer to us as Black and African American, Stephen, when dealing with the Aboriginal community and constantly speaking down. And I've never spoken
Constantly speaking down, huh?
to anyone, okay? Correcting
Slander. That's slander.
yeah, correcting misinformation is not speaking down, because We are only responding to people speaking down to us, while speaking down, while getting dewy eyed over John Ross pretendians. I don't know what's the beef about, but I do know that Knights of the Golden Circle were Klansmen, Indian, Moor, Prince Hall, Freemasons. Are you a Freemason at all? In any fraternities? Just asking Aboriginal to Aboriginal. Okay, so again, if you listen to my lectures, okay, well, when you say Aboriginal and you're making a distinction between Indian, first of all, you can't make up your mind whether you're Indian or Aboriginal. You're saying Aboriginal and you're saying it's separate from Indian, but at the same time, you use Indian when it's convenient. Make up your mind, brother. Which one is it? Okay, I know you wanted to weigh in on that too, Firebird.
Yes, I'll start with people slandering Marcus Garvey because the chic thing to say now is he was an agent because he wanted people to go back to Africa and get away from oppression over here. I'm from that time period as a little girl. Everybody was trying to go back to Africa or be a part of the African connection. And because there was so much racism, uh, redneck racism, separation in schools and institutions. You couldn't drink out the water fountain. I lived that life, as a child. I listened to parents talking about movements so that they would be free of oppression. So now these new people are saying that he's an agent because they don't want to connect to Africa. So he has to automatically be an agent. They don't see him as a person that was trying to alleviate a problem that was here in this country. Okay, I lived through Confederate flags and being called a prairie nigger and all of that stuff. I watched adults join together, Indian and Black, for the NAACP. I lived that life. Marcus Garvey was not an agent. He didn't think any different from anyone at that time period that wanted to get away from the nonsense that was happening here. So to say, to discredit that man, it's just terrible. Saying he had to be an agent. Okay. Second subject: where have we ever denounced any Aboriginal person or people? No, they were attacking innocent friends of ours that didn't fit their phenotype and their narrative, and we responded. So now he's saying we constantly put Aboriginals down, and and that's what do you call it? What's the word? Instigating, and trying to get people to hate us when he doesn't even know the story. While we said anything about the person being attacked because of the phenotype that they hold. Third, and number three, most important to me, he said connecting to John Ross and his pretendians. Those were not pretendians. Just because John Ross had white blood, he still had enough blood to be accepted and be a part of a tribe and lead people.
Right.
Second of all, he was not my chief. Okay. My people come out of my Cherokee people or Chickamauga. We were down in Texas since 1819, way before the Trail of Tears. Okay, Ukawia Diwali was our chief, and I'll interpret that for you, which means Chief Bowles. That was my grandmother's people, okay, he was a militant Chickamauga. The Chickamaugas were considered militant from the American government. Okay, I am not part of John Ross's direct connection. I am Chickamauga. We were there way before the Trail of Tears. Okay, I'm Chalagi Ndungi, Texas Cherokee, and Lenape. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about. We're in awe of John Ross, and that was not even our principal chief. Okay, Dragon Canoe was in around 1776. He was one of our fierce leaders. Those are the people I connect to as my leaders, not the people in Oklahoma. Those are kinship, but they are not my direct line. People have a lot of falsity about Cherokee people. Everyone has to be in Oklahoma. Not true. Not
Exactly.
true at all. Chief
Exactly.
Wally got killed fighting for his people. Okay, an old man like in his 80s, almost in his 90s, shot off his horse. Okay, still fighting for my Chickamauga people. So don't assume that everyone connects with Oklahoma, because that's not true. Okay, you need to learn. You need to listen to people like Mark Daniels, Fierce Truth Seeker, anyone that's willing to learn. Okay, I'm not in awe of Oklahoma or anyone, but that's not
He
my
is in
heritage.
all of any other.
Okay,
I don't know
I,
where you get
I,
that from. He made
I,
that.
yes, I, Fierce Truth Seeker, we respect all phenotypes of indigenous people because we know the history, because we mingle with these people, because we go on the reservations, we talk, we do things. Okay, so because we don't fit your narratives, we're looking down on Aboriginal movement. You're causing slander.
Yeah,
Okay,
because we're not out throwing bean pies at the quote unquote mongoloids, then they have a problem with that. You know,
okay.
that's foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
And the problem that they have with the mongoloid people is not even a sound um, complaint,
Right.
other than that they don't fit the phenotype that Stephen wants to see. You know, okay, some of them may be prejudiced, but you're being prejudiced too.
You're right.
You know,
Right. Okay.
we try to approach and love everybody, but you already got it wrong about being in awe. Everybody's in Oklahoma. John Ross, you don't even know my personal family history
Then
as a Chalagi.
Stephen says, I have records of my people leaving Alabama and Georgia and went to Oklahoma. Who cares what they say? They took it away. I don't want their recognition.
Okay, but that's not our problem.
Exactly.
Okay, only thing I can address is what you're saying about us. Okay, you're putting falsities out there about us. You don't even know my family structure or my history as a Chalagi uh, person.
Now he says, which treaty are you under? We asked you that, brother. You don't answer a question with a question. Where's the Aboriginal treaty?
Yeah, where is it? Okay, where is it?
I'll wait and listen
Okay,
to the crickets.
and you talk about the Mongoloid looking, they have treaties.
Exactly.
Okay, they fought in battles. Where's your treaty, Stephen? Okay, where's yours? Uh, my Lenape people uh, held the first treaty ever in Turtle Island. Okay, the first ever, the Treaty of Fort Pitt. We had the first treaty ever in Turtle Island ever. Okay, my Lenape people, first treaty, Fierce, the first treaty ever was my Lenape people, so that they could come on our land and fight their enemies. We had a treaty. Okay, that was the first one.
So where's the Aboriginal treaty though? I'm still waiting, Stephen. I'm still waiting. Let's see if we let's look in the you want to look in the comment section to see if he's able to produce that treaty. Let's see.
You know,
Well, he also has some other comments too. Let's see.
okay, but don't me personally, you know, you don't know anything about me personally and my connection to John Ross. Everybody doesn't connect to the Trail of Tears as the false history books tell. Okay, we were way gone, way gone. Okay, my chief,
He
my
says
chief.
again, ha,
We came from Missouri down to Arkansas, ended up in Texas,
he says, ha.
1819.
Look at
Okay,
Bolivar's Law Dictionary and read the first definition of Indian. Ha.
is this guy all right? Really?
I don't think so.
You know, or he's either not all right, and it has nothing about being with Aboriginal. Okay, because many Aboriginals don't talk like this and and throw back questions with the questions, and then go off talking about
the treaty.
and then going off to talking about nothing that the conversation is about.
Because he hasn't answered that yet. I'm still waiting.
And he's not.
Huh?
And he's not.
No,
And
I'm still waiting,
he
brother.
sounds like he's about 14 years old.
I'm also waiting, brother. I'm waiting for you to tell me where was okay. You're criticizing Garvey for the Back to Africa movement. If you listen to the 11 lectures that I did on Marcus Garvey, I specifically told you that during Garvey's time, there was no Aboriginal movement. Okay. I want to know where was, as I asked you before, where was the Aboriginal movement during Garvey's time? If you can produce that information for me, brother, I will take down the Red Road East television program today, and I will also go or I will go down to Times Square, take off all my clothes, and wait till the cops come and arrest me. Prove it. I will wait and listen to the crickets because I know that you cannot produce that information. There was no Aboriginal movement during the time of Garvey. So how can you say Garvey was an agent based on him not addressing something that did not exist during that time? I will wait and listen to the crickets.
I see no proof today from that time period that they were even teaching children about Aboriginals and the whole 9 yards. So I would like to see that myself. You know, shoot, I might join you on Times Square. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Mark Daniels is weighing in again. Want to read that?
Thumbs up. He not going to humble himself and listen any, but for any other listening and watching, they can look that up for themselves if they want the fact check. It's really that simple. Amen.
Amen.
You know, but I just wanted to clarify that about here he goes. My point as well, but you just said Aboriginals ain't on any documents. Ha.
Well, where are they, brother? Where are they? Where? Produce it.
Why is he going over and over and over with the
Stuck
same?
on stupid. He's getting stuck on stupid.
You
Instead
know, and
of tapping out, brother, tap out. Just admit, brother. You know, you're incorrect, bro. Just tap out. Don't keep, because what happens is you make yourself look dumb and dumber. You know, just tap out. Humbly say, brother, okay, I didn't know that.
and for him to say, "Ha, that sounds like I can produce the document." You know,
Didn't.
like I got one for you, brother. That sounds like what he's saying to you, Fierce. Aboriginals and Indians are the same or no? This guy, I don't even know why he's on your channel. He apparently wants to make a name for himself
Getting it. No,
as an agitator.
I think honestly, he's just not getting it.
He's what you call the hype man of the internet. You know, I'll keep something going. I'll mess up the flow of the programming by confusing false information with fact. And you know,
See, the
he's
Aboriginal
I had
movement
a show on
is
energy
that's
vampires.
what it is. And we're tap dancing on his belief system. The whole Aboriginal thing has become a religion. That's what it is. And when you crush somebody's belief system, that's what happens. They get defensive and they start to say anything, no matter how much it doesn't make sense. That's just like, I don't want to talk about anyone's religion, but that's just what it is. When you talk about things that contradict their belief system, then cognizant dissonance sets in. you know so this is saying here that was for the Oklahoma comment.
Well, everybody's not in Oklahoma, Stephen. Okay, because that state would be overcrowded. You know, there's over 565 tribes that they acknowledge, and many more that they don't acknowledge. They can't put them all in Oklahoma. You know, so I don't know where you're getting your misinformation from. I don't know where you're getting your
Wikipedia.
misinformation that we're putting down Aboriginals when you're not making yourself look good here at all.
Like I said, everyone is laughing. You're making the Aboriginal community look really bad, bro. You gotta rep that. You know, you gotta rep that, bro. Um, you know, and like I said before, oh, okay, wait. So he says here, um, strange bedfellows. My people were the. Let me look on the other screen. My people were the Lawrence County Freedom Organization. It was all a waste of time. We lost because we participated. We know this now. Are we ready to shake this mindset or no?
Mm-mm.
You lost me somewhere. Are you
Could you read what Susquehanna says?
are you able to follow that on Firebird?
I can't follow anything. I'm getting a headache. I just did a programming on energy vampires, and there you go.
Yeah.
How to recognize them, how they purposely mess with you to drain your energy. We did on how to recognize them, the different signs, uh, how to protect yourself against them, some spiritual tools that you can use, and bingo, here it is on your show.
He says, but you won't recognize him. He said, you won't recognize me. Chickamauga flag is the Confederate flag, not the conquistadors.
Well, I'll put it this way: we defeated uh, the Confederacy with the Chickamaugas. Okay, so he can interpret it all he wants, you know, and switch and add things and trolling, as someone said, all he wants. That's all he's doing, you know. That's all he's doing. There are other people in your chat saying some good, wholesome things, you know. But I don't know what his game is. You know, I really don't. Now he's saying his grandfather. Whose grandfather? Well, who is he talking about now?
I don't know.
His grandfather. You know, Excuse me, Fierce. There's a lot of people with bipolar. Uh, the planets are off balance. They're not aligned, and they're coming out like crazy. You know, he's still laughing. Sometimes it's
Bro,
good.
he said I never said that everyone was from or connected to Oklahoma. Yes, you did, brother.
Yeah, he did.
Sure did. We got it in print.
Yeah, you did. He did. You did. So he's here just to like mess with you, mess with me, mess with the audience that want to learn or contribute to your beautiful show. Thank you for inviting me on here. When you told me what the comments were from this man, the accusation that we're attacking Aboriginals and always putting them down, and you know. John Ross, which has nothing to do with my personal history. And it's just ridiculous, When I get off from your show, I'm going to smudge myself good because, I don't even understand why these people exist. And my statement right there has nothing to do with the Aboriginal movement. That's just a human um, thing that I'm recognizing, you know. I have no idea what the heck he's talking about, and I don't think he does either. I'm going to read. I'm going to look at some of your comments. Lil Mayhem told him to just chill, bro. He's here to disrupt your channel. Is a waste of time speaking with this man. You should kick him out. I agree. I definitely agree.
We have somebody else in the chat. Susquehanna. There are many people talking and making videos to be seen and get paid. Nobody is working for the people. That's why I stopped sharing info.
Well, Susquehanna, I mean, that's a Lenape word. I agree with you. Some people, they just want to make money, or they just want to come on and interrupt a good educational programming, and I'm feeling you, really, I mean, Fierce, that show was so good about energy vampires, and
Mm.
I'm trying not to get myself upset because of the energy. I'm like you,
What
I don't,
language is Aboriginal?
but with him, it's not even an Aboriginal thing because I talked to many of them and they sound very intelligent and they don't sound crazy. This is all.
No, I'm not attacking everyone who comes under that Aboriginal banner. I'm only addressing those who come in our chats.
Yeah, I mean, he's saying you putting Aboriginal people down. Never did that. Never was in awe of John Ross and his pretendians. They were not pretendians, And Susquehanna says, Aboriginal, what language is that? True. I don't know anything. I know that
over English words when American Indians didn't use those terms or words.
Yep. They didn't even use it, but it's just something that's forced upon us today that we have to use it. We have to identify.
Susquehanna says trolling.
Yeah, trolling, exactly. I'm done with him. I mean, I came away after doing that show feeling so good, getting rid of these kind of people that purposely mess with you because they have nothing else going on in their lives or they want to make some kind of name, for themselves, but sounding crazy at the same time.
I should say there are a bunch of con artists and dirty people.
Yep, yep. And he's calling Marcus agent, and most likely he might be one too.
God, see, this is more misinformation. Okay, he's talking about Garvey and Walter Plecker. Look it up. That is I already debunked that. I trashed that. I threw it in the garbage and kicked it right in his ass. What you're saying is not true, Stephen. It's BS. The thing is, you have bought the lie, brother. Okay, admit that you've been lied to. Okay, you have just listened to people who have done no research on Marcus Garvey. You're listening to little memes and sound bites, and because somebody hits a button saying, "Oh my God," you go, "Oh wow, he really said something." That means absolutely nothing, man. That may impress you. That doesn't impress me. Someone who's done the due diligence and research and also lived that life. Okay, that don't impress me, brother.
Yeah.
Because you fell for the okey doke. Don't think,
He
don't.
he either felt
You're not as
he
stupid as you are, okay, in falling for that okey doke. But on that note, I'm gonna have to sign out. Um, I may come back after my session. I may come back maybe 9:30. And we may come back. Okay.
okay. Lil Mayhem said something wholesome.
Yeah. So until that time, I'm gonna sign out saying,
Thanks for inviting me.
"You're welcome. You're quite welcome." And I'm gonna say, "Toda da, e."
Gonna die. Go, honey.